talk show where we give counsel to the youth, advice that will make them a better youth. I've always been saying in this program, you cannot have a better nation and a better world if we ignore the youth. If you want to have a solid nation, you must prepare the youth. And so, what we are trying to do here is to give godly counsel to those who we believe are not privileged enough to have come from home where they can give them the right counsel. And some of the counsel we give to you are the things that we've learned over time, mistakes, things we've learned from mistakes. They're the things we are trying to bring to you so you can be able to be cautious and take the right decision. I've always been saying that life itself is a product of decisions. Life is a product of decisions. And so if you must be misled, or if they want to mislead you, they will mislead you in the realm of decision making, giving you wrong counsel. And if you don't have sufficient facts, you are bound to make mistakes. And one of the things we've been saying for about throughout this week, we've been talking about leadership by example. We must live by example. We must create a role model for the youth to follow. I've always said, the fruit you don't want to harvest in future, don't plant the seed today. Because you will always harvest the fruit that you plant the seed. So if your intention is to pluck an apple fruit, for example, you have to plant an apple seed. You cannot plant a guava and you hope to reap an apple. It's not possible. You always reap the fruit of the seed that you plant. So what we are trying to do is to try and see how we can be able to plant the right seed, so we can be able to reap the right harvest. We are saying this. We are doing this now because we know there are very, very, very little, or even practically none, role model. And so, leadership by example, whether from the federal government, like I said, it's not about the president alone, but the governor, the senator, the rep, local government chairman, husband at home, the head of churches, the head of mosques. We have various kind of leaders, and we must lead by example. For the sake of the youth, we must do everything possible to ensure that we are able to lead the youth by giving them the right example, the right counsel. Look at what is happening over there in America today. Because of the kind of rhetorics which the politicians are making over there, the Democrats attacking the Republicans attacking, saying all kind of statement. You are a Nazi, you are a this, you are a this. Now, if you check, for about almost 6 months now, there have been high-level assassination, all kinds of. In fact, Donald Trump himself was lucky to have escaped being assassinated. Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Today, somebody in the ICE was assassinated. And when we trace this whole assassination, they get them from the rhetorics, from the statement that these older politicians are making. ICE agents are evil, must deal with them. Then a young man will just pick up his gun and go to assassinate any ICE agent. A few weeks ago, there was somebody that went to a Catholic church, opened fire. Unfortunately, he killed about 2 children. It's a Catholic school, rather a Catholic school, and he killed about 2 children. And so right here in Nigeria, we will do everything possible to make statements that will not begin to lead the youth astray. That's why we must always take positive decisions. For example, leadership by example I've been talking about. Yesterday I talked about the issue between Wike and Sowore, for example, or between the president of Nigeria and Sowore, when he called the president the C word, or So we call Wike. He bought houses abroad. He showed documents here and there. He broke. He bought houses for $2 million. And we can go to say no, it's not his house, it's his wife's house. It was all kinds of things. Most of the things we were saying, you just know that they just need to dig more on it. And so what the youth are expecting is that at this moment now, a government that is serious will try to investigate the issue. You see, we should have been either suspended or should step aside. Let them carry out a proper investigation where everybody can be satisfied. Because all these things we are doing, if we don't take the right decision, there's a statement that was said in the Holy Book. It said, because iniquity is not punished, the heart of men is set to do evil. If we continue to sweep things under the carpet, we are creating a dangerous youth. We are creating youth that will do worse than what they are doing now. And so if you had bought houses, millions of dollars of houses in America, it should be investigated. If we found to be innocent, it should be announced here. We've gone there, we've carried research, we find out that it's not true, it will be better. And if it is true, it will be prosecuted. I'm talking about leadership. If we want to begin to protect the youths and bring up the youths that can be able to defend this country tomorrow. Because the problem we are having in Nigeria, things are getting worse. The problem we are having in Nigeria is impunity. People believe that you can do anything and get away with it once you are in government, especially you are in ruling party. Today is APC. Tomorrow it will be another party. So if you say because somebody is in APC, somebody is close to the president, if he's accused or is accused to have committed a crime or is alleged to have committed a particular crime, then they will use the federal minds to protect him. We are sowing a very dangerous seed. Because APC will not be in government forever. When another government comes, they will continue the same thing. Okay, look at when late Muhammadu Buhari was president. Most of what he did was to appoint the Fulanis. So almost all his appointees were Fulani. It was like a Fulani government. And now we have another president. The Hausas and the Fulanis are complaining that we have a Lagos government. Not even a Yoruba government, now a Lagos government, because all the appointees are from Lagos State. But when Muhammadu Buhari was appointing Fulanis, they kept quiet. Now they are talking. You will not have any moral justification to talk if you refuse to speak when it favors you. You can only criticize when it does not favor you. When it favors you, you keep quiet as if you are not aware of what is happening. So we must begin to take the right steps so we can begin to bring up the right use. Leadership by example. You must show example by taking decisions, even if it affects you or not, to take decisions. I read something some time ago that was a statement that was made by the former president, the one-time president of Nigeria, the former president of Obasanjo. He said there was a time that the daughter, she studied, she's a veterinary doctor. And so she came to Obasanjo's farm to work, maybe at IT or so. And she came to work the first day she came late. And the president told the daughter, we'll resume here by 7. Make sure by 7 you're on your duty. Don't make the mistake to come late again. No matter the reason. It's better not to come to work at all than to come late. The next day she came about 15 minutes past 7 again, trying to give excuse and why she came late. The former president then walked her out of the company. Now that singular act alone sent a message to the rest. Because when it favors your son or it favors your family, you keep quiet as if nothing. And when it gets to somebody else, you want to enforce the law. It won't work. It won't work at all. People must be punished for crime that they've committed. I expect the ICPC and the rest to carry out a proper. All of a sudden, the EFCC seems not to talk. Wike does not have immunity, for goodness sake. It doesn't. Why are we not hearing the voice of EFCC? They seem to be silent. And I guess if it is Yahoo now, they will have been very busy, very smart, carry out investigation, all kinds of things, blah, 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 blah. But now that it has to do with Wike because he's close to the president, the EFCC suddenly went numb. I saw a design today of an eagle, of a dead eagle on social media. And they inscribe on the eagle EFCC. Now when it comes to Wike issue, all of a sudden, the EFCC seems not to be working. They seem to get confused, or they seem not to bother. We must make sure that we carry out true justice, true judgment. Things must be done accurately, without bias. We should not follow what a serving senator, who was the national chairman of the party some years ago, when he came to say, once you move to our party, even though you are corrupt, you are free. You are free from the corruption. The only thing you just need to do is to move. And I guess a lot of people are following it, because we have people right now who, governors even from other parties, who are alleged to have stolen so much that the EFCC was looking for them. And most times when the EFCC begin to talk, to look for this, you think that something serious wants to happen. Look at the case of the former governor of Kogi State, for example. All what the newspaper publication will prosecute, will do. Where's the man? The man is free. Completely free, having good time. So the whole thing is just like a joke. The only time we can even see an effective judiciary is when it has to do with Yahoo boys. If it is Yahoo boys now, by now they must have passed judgment. But those that stole our common treasury, so far nothing has been done to them, nothing. There was one time Accountant General of the Federation that was alleged to have stolen 120 billion. The kind of money they steal now is the money that will panic you. I'm not sure my whole village, and I'm not sure they have up to 120 billion. Everybody from my village put together. And one man stole it, embezzled it, built houses and the rest. And they have informants. The informant is that the EFCC will go, they will arrest you, they will take you to court, and you'll be remanded in prison 2 weeks. Then after 2 weeks, they will apply for bail, and that's you go home and chop your money. Is this what you want? How you want to fight corruption? They are just joking. And as long as they are doing this, they are sending the wrong message to the youth. It's a wrong signal. And the reason why we are saying all these things is because we deal with the youth, a youth organization. And you talk with them, they'll tell you that nobody is fighting corruption in Nigeria. In fact, there's a slogan the youth are using that when you want to steal enough, so that you can be able to bribe the judge and the police. And they say if you don't steal enough for the judges, enough for the security agents, that is when you will have issue. But if you steal enough, if you embezzle enough money that can go around, they will bail you, and that's the end of the matter. Now, if we continue to run a system like this, then we are showing a very bad example. Bad example. That's why I said, I don't see any reason why Wike himself should not be prosecuted. He should be prosecuted. We want to know the end of this matter. There are so many videos coming online that he gave 300 billion to bribe INEC officials. He did this, 2019, billions of, so much money. There were all kinds of accusations coming in. Have they been investigated? The government should show that they are serious. You see, no matter the project you are doing, as long as corruption is still in place, nothing will work. Corruption is a conduit pipe that siphon and destroy the nation. If we don't destroy corruption, corruption will destroy Nigeria. And I say there's something that must be done, because we get to a stage that where people will say enough is enough. Because these guys, these politicians, these guys, these elites, these guys in big positions, they seem to take the ordinary citizens as fools. They just circulate themselves, steal enough money, and they keep quiet. They just go to court, and everybody knows that the whole court is a joke. Go there, arrest you, remand you in prison, Kuje prison. The number one is Kuje prison. And after 2 weeks, they will go back, apply for bail. They will grant you bail. And that's the end of the matter. You won't hear of it again. Are you hearing about the Kogi governor? What have we been hearing? Have you heard anything? This wicked matter will continue like this and he will die. We will not know what happened. That's why people don't take the government serious. It's not above the law. Even before Donald Trump became president, they went to his house, even as an ex-president. They went to raid his house to get documents and the rest. He appeared in court. The accusation that he accused the president of, I understand that because the president has immunity, so there's nothing you can do about it for now. But we cannot have immunity. There must be a high-powered. Okay, imagine if this whole thing is done by the opposition, maybe a member of Labour Party or PDP or ADC. If they are the ones that are accused of corruption now, all the machinery of government will have been in full alert. They will have investigated. But since it seems as if it's a sympathizer, it's an APC sympathizer, so nothing is done about it. Is this how we want to build a nation? Is this how we want to build a nation? It's not about trying to be smart. You build this, a project. Like I said before, how much was the project? They did this overhead bridge. Overhead bridge is supposed to cost 1 million, for example. They tell you it's 1 billion. It's a way of corruption. That's why they still move. So we must do everything possible to see that we show good example to the youth to follow. It's not about what you say, it's about what you do. Because the youth will understand better when they see what is done. All this whole thing about Yahoo will have reduced if we have good government in place where justice is dished out to offenders. Nobody will get involved again now. But the politicians are getting away. They steal and they get away. They appoint somebody, commissioner, all of a sudden, he's a multi-millionaire. Somebody is a local government chairman, he built estates. How did he get the money? How did he get the money? Maybe somebody who is accused, the FCC minister, for example, that was accused and he said, oh, the wife is a citizen. The children are this. You transfer everything to your wife's name, your children's name. So how will I know? I don't know that they have houses. These are not statements. The statements are even more annoying. So she's even a judge in Nigeria that has a dual citizenship. Let's be serious for once. We keep having government that is moving and moving. We don't understand. At times we don't really understand, and people are beginning to get confused. And that's why they tell you that in Nigeria anything works. Crime pays in Nigeria. That's what they tell you. Because there's no justice there's no justice. The criminals are not punished. They always get away with it. And so we must do everything possible to ensure that we lay good example for the next generation. There are things you cannot try in China. There are things you cannot try when it comes to the issue of corruption and the rest. You can't try it in China. Serious countries, you can't try it in America. You can't. Nobody is above the law in America. Donald Trump went to court. They summoned him before he became president. After he was president the first time, he was even a nominee of the Republican Party. The election was close. He was campaigning, but they summoned him to go to court. He appeared in court to answer charges. Why is Nigerian case different? Where are some people above the law? And this is what is destroying this country, because some people are above the law, and so there's so much impunity. They can do what they like. They believe they can do what they like and get away with it. And so the governors keep stealing money and money and money. That's why we said the last time, this whole subsidy thing they brought, the intention of removing subsidy and the rest, they are good intention. Now, the money that is sent, they've increased the money for the governors, increased this. What are they using it to do? It's to steal more. The politicians are busy buying all the houses in most of the new buildings you are saying, and the houses they are buying, they are owned by politicians. Like when someone one day I was asking, who is the owner? I said, this man owns this. He owns this. He owns this. House of Rep member. He owns this. He owns this. He owns this. He owns this. And you see somebody that he was even a car washer, somebody that was a tailor, and was appointed, into government, and begin to make millions. How long are we going to continue like this? We cannot have a serious nation like this. And at the end of the day, we keep borrowing money and borrowing money and borrowing money, and the leakages are much. That's why Yahoo is increasing. Because as far as they are concerned, the politicians are the biggest Yahoo we have in this country. The biggest Yahoo are the politicians. And unfortunately, the hands of the EFCC is tied. It's not saying they don't know what to do. They know what to do, but their hands are tied. That's why this fraud is going on and on and on and on. And it will continue to go on, except we find ourselves with a serious leadership that is ready to deal with anyone, no matter who is, even if it is a twin brother. If he's found guilty, he should be punished. Until we have that kind of president, we are going to have a problem in Nigeria. Because you see, if the corrupt leader is from the north, the west will say prosecute. If it's from the west, the north will say prosecute. So the whole thing is about tribal sentiment. And if you want to take those aggressive action to punish some people, you say he's doing this because he's a northerner. He's doing this because he's a westerner. How long are we going to continue this like this? Where the nation is bleeding. People are suffering. I know how many calls I've been receiving on a daily basis. Yesterday, day for yesterday, today, of course. I went out today because I had an appointment. I went out and I saw people on the road begging for money. Begging. It's getting worse. Elderly people begging because of the pressure that the country is going through. And the politicians are having good time buying houses in Florida, buying houses in Canada. Why the people are suffering? The youths are watching. And except something is done on time, they will push the youth in such a situation where they will say enough is enough. Because the politicians feel that the youths are fools. But I know very well that the things we take, the things our parents take, our children will not take it. They can get information in less than 24 hours. And if they cannot get justice in court, they will get it from the streets. Let's get it right. Let Nigeria work again. Let's build up a vibrant and disciplined youth. A nation where nobody is above justice. A nation where criminals are punished. That's the only way Nigeria can move forward. Where criminals are punished. Where justice is served for all. Where it's not only the poor that are punished, but even the rich. When they commit crime, they will pay for it. Until we find ourselves in that kind of nation, the struggle will continue to an extent where the youth will say, we want to take back our nation. And that time is getting closer. Until we meet again tomorrow, please take good care of yourself. And remember what I said, let's live by example. Let nobody be above justice. Let criminals be punished. Let there be justice. That's the only way Nigeria can move forward. People should be punished for their crime and not celebrated. Not because they are close to the president or they are close to Chief Justice or they are close to the police officers so they can get away with anything. No, it's wrong. Let's meet again tomorrow. Please, I want you to subscribe to BHF, subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get more. It's just 10 minutes of our discussions on a daily basis to advise the youth. There's punishment for crime. That's what I want to tell the youth. And the youth will understand better. We should begin to punish those political office holders. When they are out of office, they should be punished for crime, not celebrated. I want you to subscribe to BHF Movie on this YouTube channel. I also want you to thank you very much for those who are watching and those who are commenting. Thank you for your comment and the rest. Please share it Let it go viral. And also, I want to share it to the youth especially, because we want the youth to partake and benefit from this time out with Hello David. 10 minutes of broadcast every evening. Have a wonderful day.